Here we go. Good evening, and welcome to the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District Board Meeting for March 18th, 2026. I'm Christine Hawsey, and I hereby call this meeting to order at 6 p.m., right on the dot. At this time, I will note the presence of these members and confirm that we have a quorum with Royce, Marion, Dale, and myself makes a quorum. Our first order of business is public comments, and I asked Julie if she has anyone signed up to speak this evening.
We do not.
So, seeing that we have no speakers, we'll move right on to the next item, which is to take appropriate action regarding our last meeting minutes from CCPD board meeting, which was November 19th, 2025, not 1925, 2025. Those 19s get to you. Has everyone had a chance to read them, or does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, and I will take a motion to approve the minutes.
I move.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We have approved the motion and for the minutes, and that is approved. Okay, item 2 is to discuss the fiscal year 2026-2027 CCPD budget apportionment for the crime control and prevention programs, and that will be presented by our Chief Arata. And following that presentation, we'll go right into him explaining the department policies and reports. So we turn the time over to you, Chief.
Good, thank you, Board. Welcome tonight. Thank you for being here. For the budget discussion, we're really going to talk about the budget itself just in a really general vein, and then prepare for next month. So next month, we're going to host a budget workshop where we're going to spend time going through the budget and planning and building the budget for the next fiscal year. So tonight, I'm just going to talk about some big things that we have that have already happened and what we plan on for next year. So we moved forward with our tasers and body cameras, and all that stuff is moving along great. The covered parking is moving forward. We should have the drawings and permit issued by the end of the month. Move right into that to solve this year's, all those items we had for this year. So the budget's looking really good as we move forward. The one item, the cadet, the police officer cadet position we approved for the overhire position. We have that position, we have that person in the academy, but because we're down 3 police officer positions, that person is staying on the general fund side of the house, so we haven't tapped into any of those funds. So our fund balance continues to grow. So I think we're over 100% on our fund balance. So, but next year we're going to have another round of things coming. So we're hoping to fill those vacancies, so next year we can jump right into that and keep that cadet position rotating through. So one of the big things we're going to be discussing for next year's budget is our CJIS audit. Our CJIS audit just occurred, which is the FBI coming in and Criminal Justice Information System security for all the data that we keep. They came, they looked at our facility, they looked at how we do everything, how we secure our computers and all that stuff. And one of the deficiencies they found was the access control for our building, how we get in and out of our building using our secured cards. They're not secure enough. So we're going to need to replace that system. So working with the town and the town manager, it's all one system. So we're going to move forward with getting bids and projects and proposals to see how much that's going to cost. But we'll most probably split the cost with the town and go to the state-of-the-art security system. So it'll control our access in and out of the building and meet that requirement. That's going to be a big hit next year. Not as much as we had a lot this year. So, but otherwise, we're doing really well on the things that we've already presented and moved forward with.
I just wonder if that audit is every year?
It's every 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5.
But it's actually, we were 6 years since our last audit. So, but they're going to get back on the 3-year audit, so.
And it's called a CJIS?
Yes, CJIS. Okay. It's the Criminal Justice Information System.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all the criminal history records and all the criminal information and system that the government has that we are allowed to have access to. They want to make sure that when we access it and how we access it, the areas are secured so nobody can walk through and see it or get access to it, even if we were to have it. So.
Do we arrange when that audit is, or do they tell us?
They tell us.
They say we're coming, okay.
Yep, it's a very thorough audit. I mean, it took us weeks to prepare all the documents in advance, get it to them, and then they were here for several hours.
Okay.
physically walking through our facility after they reviewed all of our records. It's very heavy IT-based, and so we had to buy some software, so you'll see that in the budget, what we talked about. We had to get some software that even secures our software even more. So not only it's dual authentication, I'm sure some of you may have that already at your work, where
Right.
your computer lets you log in, but before you log in, you have to have a second way to log in.
Yeah.
So we had to get more software to make that all happen. So that's something that we were able to take care of this year during the audit. So,
Great.
so we just left with that last one item to fix. So that's sort of the things we're talking about. The big thing that'll be coming during the budget discussion. So that's why I wanted to put this on the agenda for tonight, was where it's going to be a large hit to the budget to add the enhanced security entrance system. So don't know what that number looks like yet, but it's most probably pretty big.
Good.
On that topic, is the town benefiting from it as well?
Yes, that's why they're willing to share the
willing to
cost.
split?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, because it does the whole building,
Yeah.
so, and we're half the building, so I think we'll just share that. So
That makes
we're hoping to get a system that integrates with our new camera system we installed last year. So with the state-of-the-art technology and all the things out there, we want to make sure we get the right thing and make it all work together.
And the new covered parking lot, I'm sure that'll get involved in how you go in and out as well.
Yeah, well, yep. They're
Okay.
coming next week to do an additional external audit to see how to make that all work, because it'll use facial recognition to you'll walk up to a door and it'll open the door.
Yeah.
It'll open the door for you as you approach it, if it recognizes you. If it
Oh,
doesn't,
that's cool.
yeah, and it'll alert you if somebody's in the building that shouldn't be here.
That's
So
great.
I'll pass these out.
Oh, thank you.
So we did complete the micromobility ordinance from last year, so I'll get in that in the next presentation.
Okay.
So, but, great deal. So the plan is to coordinate with you when we hope to have a new person, the vacancy filled within the next couple of weeks. They're interviewing for that position Friday. So they're interviewing a couple of people that would like to be on the board. So we can get our 7th board member on and wait for that, and then we're going into budget. But the budget workshop will be similar to what we did last year. Well, we'll spend some time going over every item in the budget, why we're doing it, what program we're working on, what program those funds are going to benefit, and then capital assets like new cars and things like that, so,
So
and some
sometime
software.
in April or May?
We're going to do it in April, and then we'll roll into May, the next month, and approve our budget. So we'll have a formal meeting, not just a workshop.
Okay.
We'll roll into a budget discussion in May, and then maybe even approve it as the next agenda item is approve the budget.
Okay.
So, but we want time to work through the budget and then come back and discuss it. So we'll spend some time, and you'll get documents in advance of all that. So we'll be doing, we're going to work through it as we did last year. Because we have a pretty good budget and we have an incredible fund balance that if the things out there we need, we might as well start dropping that back down to 50%.
Sounds
So,
good.
yeah, so. And any questions on that before we move forward? Good, well, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to our presentation on our accreditation and how the police department's doing. So just to make the statement here that we were recognized by SafeWise as the safest city in Texas for last year. So we met that goal. We dropped a few slots last year, but we jumped back up. And I think that has a lot to do with the cameras that we installed last year. In all of our parking lots that the town owns, except for across the street, we installed cameras at our parks, all of our parks and parking lots.
Okay.
And our pool averaged 1 or 2 break-ins a month during the summer. Last summer, we had 0. So our burglary of motor vehicles dropped 50%. So incredible numbers. I mean, we have single-digit numbers now for burglary of motor vehicles, which is outstanding for us. That's a pretty good number.
Great.
So we were awarded that, so it's nice to be back at the top for a safest city in Texas, so.
Good job.
Yep. So moving on to the annual use of force report. We are an accredited agency by the Texas Police Chiefs Association. It's a very stringent requirement. Every 4 years, we go through an audit where they come here and they spend several days with us, going through all of our policies and procedures, all of our training records to make sure the officers are doing everything they're supposed to do. And part of that requirement is every year I do a use of force report. So I have to tell the association and the community how we're doing on this particular item. And use of force is where we, actually put our hands on somebody, fight them, or use a weapon or something on them, a shooting or a taser or something. So we don't have that many, so I broke ours out in two components. One is use of force, where we actually put our hands on somebody, and the other is the threat of force, where we didn't touch anybody, but we pulled our guns out and maybe got them out at gunpoint or took a taser out and pointed a taser at them. Because we do those sort of things, but they don't escalate to the next level. So, but we do document that in a report, so I might as well put that in a form and let people know we're paying attention as managers. We're watching what our guys are doing to make sure we're not getting out of line. And that's where this report comes in. And so as you can see here, use of force is a response to resistance. So if somebody's trying to resist us or fight with us, we put force on it. And the threat is just that, is there's no weapons or no physical force, but we're there ready. But I want to make sure that the community knows, hey, there's a potential out there. So, so here's just the definition, but let me get into some numbers for you. So out of this year's report, we had 2 times where we documented the use of force, but there really weren't that force. We are allowed to touch people when we arrest them, where we put our hands on them, put handcuffs on them, take them to the ground. So during our racial profiling report, we documented 2 uses of force. We clicked the box on a ticket. When we arrested, we had 2 DWI arrests, both females. The officers put their hands on them, had to take them to the ground because they were resistant. One actually tried to get back into her car where she had threatened. She had a taser. She threatened to tase the officers. She moved to get in the car. The officers grabbed her, put her to the ground, handcuffed her. And on the box, they checked use of force. So I followed that up and took that and put this in our report. But we really did nothing more than physical force, physical restraint. So the other ones were 7 threats of force, where we searched the building, we stopped a car that we believe was a felony stop, pulled our guns out, and walked through and either had our weapons out at some point. We had no uses of tasers this year, or even pulled our tasers out, which is pretty nice. Last year we had several. So very big deal. So let me just put that in perspective. We had 15,105 calls for service. So about 2,600 of those were dispatch calls, where somebody called the police. The other 13,000 were officers were encountering people, making stops or talking to people. 7,202 of those were traffic stops. So pretty good. We went up about 180 traffic stops from last year. So we average about 7,000 traffic stops a year, but we average 15,000 calls, where we actually, so half of those are traffic stops, half of those are the police are encountering people, going to their houses, talking to them on the street, kids on scooters, things like that. But 2,000 of those are where somebody actually called for police help, either come to the house to domestic disturbance or whatever they need us for. So
That was 2,000, you said, calls like that?
about 2,600 is what we average. So yes. So to put that in perspective, our numbers are very low, to where we only had a total of 9 documented threats of force or use of force out of 15,000 encounters. That's pretty good. So that's, that has a lot to do with the training and the quality of people that we hire. So that's why it's important that this report reflects that. So, and in the report, we talk about what shift it is, what night it is. So with 7 things, it's not a lot. So, but we try to produce that data so everybody knows what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Chief, when you get these calls, like you said, about 2,600 where there's issues and they're calling for police help, is there a team of 2 that always go? Or it depends?
The majority of them are individual calls, but our officers always have time, so usually 2
Okay.
go, and then if they need, the supervisor shows up. But yes, they never really go alone.
Yeah.
So on domestics, it's always 2,
Okay.
or a violent call, or an open door type thing, 2 officers always go.
Kind of protect each
Yep.
other?
It's rare that one shows up, unless it's a barking dog or
Yeah.
something
yeah,
like that. So, because we get those calls too. And then in the report itself, as you can see here, these are the days of the week where we get more. And see, we don't have that many. There's only like 2 on the night, 1 during the day. So there's no real pattern, because what we're also doing is we're trying to, throughout the use of force, the pursuit report, and there's also an annual injury report, but we had no injuries this year, so there was no report. We're also looking for, is there some pattern here? Is there a particular officer or something that I need to pay attention to take corrective action? And what's documented in this report, when the command staff looks at these numbers and this data, we're looking for training issues, policy and procedure issues, things that we need to fix or correct. So we hadn't identified any this year because we don't have that many and we didn't do anything wrong. So, but we are looking for those issues. We want to make sure we stay on top of those things so we don't have problems with officers or events. So that's the other part of what these reports are for. So it's an early warning type system is what we're doing. So I'm going to move on into vehicle pursuits. So this is another big threat for police departments. We do a lot of chasing cars, right? Police see that on TV. So this year, we only had 3. 2 of them belonged to us, and 1 was an assist of another agency. The 2 that belonged to us were terminated within a minute to 2 minutes by the supervisor or the officer. So we don't, if it's unsafe or there's no chance for us to catch the person, we let them go. We most probably already got the license plate number. We know what it is, if it's a stolen car or something. If it's a felony, they are going to chase them. Like the 3rd one lasted quite a while. It was initiated by Fort Worth, came through here. One of our officers tagged along, just one, as an assist. And that one was, the vehicle was stopped in Argyle. So, but we participated in that one and the officers documented it. And it's the same type of stuff that we're looking for here is, we go back and we look at those videos, we look at the write-up. Why did we do it? How did it happen? How did this pursuit start? What was the initial reason? I think one of them was a stolen car, came in town. So, and we just had one in this year already. Somebody stole a Corvette from Roanoke, came over here, and we believe they were trying to switch the plate or something, and somebody saw the car stopped in front of their house, and they immediately called the police. And our guys were on it like that, and immediately took off and got out of town. And we didn't pursue that car. We don't have cars like that to chase those kind of cars. So,
Right.
But, so we look for that stuff. We have the officers document this event. We review the event. We watch the video. Our videos show us the speed, the braking, everything you need to know about how that pursuit, how the officers did during the pursuit. We look at what cars they were in, the shape of the cars, the tires, the brakes, all that stuff, to make sure that not only are they operating safe, but we're giving them safe equipment to operate in. So it's pretty important. So, and I said, we only had 3 last year, and here's some of the numbers, so you can just see it visually. 7,200 traffic stops, or we pulled over that many cars, and only 2 of them ran from us. So that's pretty good, right, when you have that. And then the number of arrests that we had last year was 170. We're up a little bit from last year. So, but for a small department with 20, allowed 23 officers to have 170 arrests, that's pretty good. I mean, there are people here that shouldn't be here, and we're making sure that happens. A lot of these are drug arrests or DWI arrests, but then we have some pretty good ones. So domestic violence and sex offender stuff, so good arrest. So as you can see, 2 pursuits were initiated by us, and 1 is a result of another agency, because we do allow our officers to help.
And when there's an arrest, where are they taken? Because I know that
To Denton
Roanoke?
County.
they're going to the county.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're in Denton and Tarrant County, so if they're arrested here or at the hotels or something, they have to go to Tarrant County.
Yeah,
If
that's,
they're renting in the other part of town, they go to Denton County. They will all come back through here, or the majority of them do, for temporary processing, give the officers time to write probable cause statements and get their evidence processed and all that stuff, and then they're taken up to Denton County.
okay.
So, yep. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and again, the command staff spends a lot of time looking at these reports, going through it throughout the year, and looking for those little clues. Do we need to change our policy? Do we need to fix something? Do we need to have better training? Things like that. So that's why it really is part of the whole accreditation program itself.
Can I ask one question? Do you have a separation area for those people you have to pick up that are mentally ill, or that, you have to arrest, or whatever, that are
If
mentally ill?
Those people go to the hospital. They don't come here.
But they're not arrested, or they're just,
Some may be arrested, but
Okay.
the majority are, we do protective orders and take them to the hospital.
okay.
Yeah. We try to avoid arresting people in those
I
circumstances.
know, it's just,
So, and we have a very good team. The officers are very well educated in that. And one of our biggest programs is a mental health program and the elderly,
Yeah, that's
the
good.
take-back program. We're really emphasizing that this year. This is part of council's initiative, is our elderly take-back program. Not sure if you know what that is. So if somebody with dementia or special needs kids, we have a program, a database, that you can tell us about your family member, and we put them in our database with a photograph, contact information, identifying information, keywords, calming words, things like that are all entered in here. And we're going to be doing a pamphlet on this program also here very soon. But we find people and take them home quite a bit. And actually, we've just cleaned up our list. We took the people off that are no longer here or don't need to be on, and we've just added some more people because of this program. And we're coordinating with the fire department. They have a similar type list, different needs, but similar. So it's a great program that helps our community, because we do have people that go for a little walk and forget where they are. Yep, I think
It's
you
not
most probably know some of them. So-
advertised on the marquee, just when I was
Yes,
driving.
right, right, we're doing that
So
now.
people need to register if their grandfather needs help.
Yep.
They need, okay.
And the officers are registering, so if we get those calls and we find those people and they're not part of the program, we're helping them register into the
Oh,
program.
that's great.
But having the photograph in the file and stuff, because some don't even remember their names. But we don't have that many, we have like 18 people in the program. So we can look through real quick and see if they're one of our people.
That's good.
Yeah, so
That's great.
it is a good program. So we have some good services, but our mental health program is part of the overall program, and we have a very robust program, and we partner with Roanoke. Roanoke has a specialist that helps us with our mental health issues. That's his dedicated job over there, and when we have something special, he'll come over and help also. So our detective, Abe Medina, is also one of those mental health experts. So a lot of the officers are trained, but they specialize. So when we have a special case, or we're dealing with this person over and over and over again, they come and help. We used to have the county, but they disbanded their team, so now we're using Roanoke's. So, manpower issues.
Gosh, disbanded their team.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah, they had a 6-man team, now they don't have any team.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. Moving on to drones. So, thank you for your patience with this program. You funded the drone program. We went through the whole government issue where the government went through approving the Chinese drone. Well, they went ahead and banned all non-American drones. So it's not just Chinese drones, it's everything that's not made here in the United States. So we're working with an American company. We ordered a drone. It's going to take us 5 to 6 months to get the drone. So we're going to go ahead and start training our officers on that. We've already written our policy. And so we have that in place. We're starting to do all the things that we need to do to get the program up and running, because it is like a mini aviation program. We have logbooks. We're going to have to track maintenance and parts and all the things that we need to do. We're working on our COA
Spare parts.
with all that. So, and some of the key things I wanted to point out in our policy is we are going to get a government COA, working with the government to give us the authority to operate this aircraft as we need to. And it basically what it does is we don't have to train our officers. No, we have to train our officers, but we don't have to have them go get licenses because they're operating under us, under the police department. We're going to do both. We're going to have them get their 107 drone pilot's license, and they'll operate under the COA. So, so some of the key things is with the drone program, we're going to use it for key surveillance, not surveillance, but operational needs only. So we're going to use it for special events, lost people. If there's a crime occurring in town and we need imagery of where the crime occurred or a location, we'll use it for that, for traffic accidents and things like that. So parking lot coverage during football games, that type of event. We're not going to use it for surveillance. So there won't be any special needs, and you'll see those restrictions here. So actually, I have them right here. So here's the prohibited use. There's no random surveillance activity. We're not just going to launch it and go look at somebody's house and things like that. That's going to be prohibited. We're not going to target anybody particular, anything like that. No harassment. We're not going to be flying over people's houses to drive them crazy. things like that, and then no personal business. So these are going to be a very restricted use thing. We're only going to have one. So we're going to have one officer on each shift and a supervisor. So the device most probably be kept in a supervisor's car until we can figure out how the best to deploy it. So that, because the supervisor vehicle is always out. So, I'll get more details when we get it. So I was hoping to have it able to display it. And so when it does come in, we'll go ahead and do a demo for you guys and let you see it. It's a neat piece of equipment. It's very expensive. It's not that big. It's
Okay.
bigger than a normal DJI drone or what you would think. Think about maybe twice as large. It's not the super big ones that are launching off the building. Roanoke just bought one. They have a drone. It's called the DFR drone, dispatch directed drone. It'll launch from the top of their building when dispatch gets a phone call. So the dispatcher can launch the drone from the building, and it goes to a pre-programmed address that they type in. And it sits on top of that, and they can see what's happening there within seconds or minutes before the officer ever gets there. And they've actually canceled police officers because they've gotten a call of something in an area, they launch the drone, they don't see anything, and they terminate the call for the officer. So it's pretty incredible, but it's very expensive. So,
And how much did ours cost?
23,000 for one. Yeah, so the original cost we had was 40,000 for one of the American-made version. We were gonna buy two of the Chinese drones at 15,000 apiece. And then when that got banned, the American drone came down from 40 to 24. So, and no annual fees. So,
Good.
so, yes. And also, on the retention, it's a data card, an SD card that goes into the drone. And so we'll do the same thing we're doing with like the block camera system. We'll just save the data for 30 days. If it's not needed, we'll delete it and move on. If it is needed for a case, it'll be drawn down and put into a criminal case file, like all our other video, and saved to go along with the case. And then when the case is dismissed, the data will go away after that point. But we're not going to keep any data. We will keep the tracking logs separate in a separate folder. That just shows where the drone flew. We'll have to keep those for an extended period of time, just in case somebody comes back and says, hey, you flew a drone over my house. Well, we can go back and look at the log. It won't be any video of it, but there'll be a log of where the drone actually flew. And we keep that for the FAA side of the house, too. So
And how many people are going to be trained on this, you said?
we're going to have four, one on each shift. So we'll always have somebody who can operate it whenever wherever we need it.
Great,
So we may end up with more than that, but right now, we're just one on each shift.
okay.
So it's a 2 or 3 day course to pass to operate the drone.
I think when we finally get them and they're ready to go out, as many people as we can tell our constituents as much as possible, so they don't feel like
Yes.
there's any problem,
Right,
you know, or
exactly.
what it will and will not do.
Right.
Remember how fearful they were of the cameras?
Oh, yeah.
You know, this may be worse, so we should.
Yeah,
get
and we'll,
ready,
and, I mean,
right?
we'll get out there and publicize it when
Yeah.
we do get it, and do demos like we do with the K-9. So I need to apologize. I forgot to introduce our finance director, April Duvall.
Hi, April.
Hi, April.
Oh, sorry. She's here. She was, standing by if you had any big questions about our budget, but I forgot to introduce you. I'm sorry. But she was here, and
Thank
she'll
you.
be with us for the next couple of meetings to discuss our budget.
Wonderful,
Thank you.
thank you.
You can get water now. So, sorry about that. I meant to introduce her earlier. So, so that concludes my presentation for the night. If there are any other questions or thoughts, but we will, I want to wait to get the new person on board before we set the date for the budget workshop.
Right.
So we have 7 people. But I think it's going to be, last year, I hope you enjoyed last year's meeting. It took a little longer.
Yeah.
It took us some time, but we had some really good conversations about things we wanted to do with the department and programs and how we wanted to fund them. But we even have more money this year. So not only were taxes up, but I think I think our fund balance is like 440,000. Our budget's only about 380, 400. We went over it. We did put 100,000 for the officer, but yeah, we're not going to be using that. So, yep.
Do you have a requirement for like a savings account or something that you have to keep?
Well, we'd like to, 50%,
Okay,
yeah, so 200,000,
yeah.
so it gives us a little bit more.
Contingency is the word I was after.
Yes, just like the town, they keep a nice reserve.
Yeah, okay.
So we want to keep about a 50% reserve in case we have something really bad happen. We
Yeah.
can have an emergency
Need it.
meeting and,
Right.
Yeah.
and fund something. So, but that's a big number. So we don't want to keep that much if we don't have to. We should use it and move forward.
Oh, yes.
So, awesome. Well, that's all I have for the night.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
always wonderful to hear such detailed information.
Yes,
It,
very interesting.
It's
Thank you.
always very interesting and fabulous. And also kudos to your whole department for the outstanding work and all this wonderful reporting that
Thank you.
really just shows what a terrific force you're running. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Does anyone have any other questions or anything that you'd like to go over at this meeting tonight? With that being said, then I would, no further business, then this meeting is adjourned at exactly 6:30 PM.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.